Hi, welcome to episode 2 of TCC. I'm Novasight. Today I'll be covering a mid-silver player, Solicitate. He'll be playing top lane Wukong. I'll only be covering about 20 minutes of the match because that's pretty much all that matters this time. So as you can see on the loading screen, blue side has a pick comp with balance time scaling, well, a pretty good mix, and that is his team. The enemy team, purple side, has a heavy duelist comp with a lot of late game champs. So Wukong will be matched up against Talon this round. And it's kind of a weird matchup. I really don't know what to think of it. It's very random to even see Talon up top, but it's just the nature of this match. Now, what Solicitate ideally should be doing is just farming, keeping control of his lane until after laning phase, so we can deal with picking champions off later on. Unfortunately, the match does not go that way, and I'll try my best to explain why during this laning phase. So, as he started Doran's Blade and Pot, he should technically be looking at just pushing the lane with auto attacks and keeping up pressure for a few minutes. So he enters lane, just CS is like standard. Alright, now, here's my first problem. After dashing on the Talon, you have an attack speed increase on Wukong from Nimbus Strike. So ideally, if you want to Nimbus Strike him, you should follow up with an auto attack, especially in that situation, because he would not have suffered anything whatsoever from that. Now, the thing about Talon farming is that he has to spam Rake for a good part of the match, and so he's using a lot. He'd have to use a lot more mana. Um, Now, the trade he just took wasn't that bad because Talon took a lot of minion damage, but honestly, Solicitate should have not dashed onto him in that spot because if he had, well, he didn't have vision there, and Jax could have jumped on him. And he did get stuck on the minion line, which was dangerous. Alright, so right now the situation is looking kind of bad. However, Talon does keep spamming Rake. His mana's a lot lower. I decided to check my volume because this wasn't playing any sound whatsoever when I made the video, and it didn't make any difference. Anyways, I got killed by Jax. Now, I don't know what the hell is going on at this point. Honestly, Solicitate should have let Jax go at this point because Jax could simply use Counter-Strike and stun him, and that's exactly what happened. So, take a look at it again. He opted to go in with no flash and and his decoy was on cooldown to this Jax. So, see, he used decoy there. Now, his flash is down, his decoy is down. He should just hang out at the turret. He might get dove by Talon, but he wouldn't have gave up a kill and an assist. And Talon's taking damage, but yeah, no flash, no decoy. Counter-Strike gets him. Easily avoidable death. In best case scenario, if he had decoy, he could have walked past Jax to the second turret, or in some direction that he won't be spotted, and just simply back, and there would have been absolutely no problem because Talon was walking through the turret at that time, and he wouldn't have accomplished anything. What are you doing? No! Don't teleport back when there's nobody there. That's... no. That's a waste of a teleport. That teleport could have been saved for a crucial moment elsewhere. Oh, man. So, the thing about Talon's Rake is it cools down every 10 seconds. Like, it doesn't change no matter how much you level it. So, what you should be doing ideally is when you can hit the minions, hit them, but don't stand in the minion line for too long because he's going to rake through it and hit you and the minions, and then he gets a very easy trade while getting CS. So Talon is now level 6. So if it looks favorable, he will all in no matter what. But hold on, let's just watch the moment leading up to this. So, standing in minion lines, that was completely unnecessary. And he took a huge trade for that. Okay, but now that Talon's level 6, he can pretty much tower dive with no problem, considering Wukong is at low health. So going back is completely fine here. But then he hesitates. Now, that was a mistake. So, easy dive, gets away with it. Honestly, if you're going to back, you need to commit to going back. And you could have ran to the tri-brush to the side or the second turret to go back, and then he would have never dove you in the first place. So anyways, I come up there with Ramus, don't really accomplish much. Whatever. Pretty sure I get... no, I just don't get killed there. So, right now the game's not completely out of control. However, Talon's up on damage, having Brutalizer. And honestly, the early game Doran's Blade didn't really help much because Solicitate did not end up pushing up the minion line early on. So you probably would have been better off starting with Doran's Shield. See, now that's decent movement. Going in and out of the bushes, taking down the minions that are low, and just keeping out of range of Rake. That's legitimately fine to do. Now when the minion lines converge, yeah, so make sure he's not standing in it, although he does here. And Talon has nothing to lose from putting on really hard harass with his ult. He puts down a lot of damage, and now Solicitate is on the defensive again. He also cleared the minion line, so just watch this again. Rake. Ult. Minion wave cleared. Solicitate hurt. Talon loses absolutely nothing for doing that except a bunch of mana and some cooldowns, but it's totally worth. Now he can pretty much just harass as he pleases. So, at this point, I on Rammus start handing him for a gank, and his ward runs out just in time to not set off my Raptors buff. So, although, problem is, Solicitate is under the impression I was spotted by a ward, but there are no wards because my Raptor buff is not set off. So, there's this hesitation and poor communication between both of us, so he ends up coming in late. And because of that, he had to rush to put his pink down, and we didn't really accomplish anything. Now, here, if he wasn't trailing behind at this point, he could have got to the bush, pinked the bush, jumped on Talon, and ulted him, and that probably would have been the only kill he would have got the entire laning phase, to be honest. That was literally the best shot Wukong could have had to getting a kill. And so he loses a pink, and then he stays, takes a bunch of free damage, and I'm pretty sure he dies here for it. Yeah. So I had to go back and look. So I'm leaving on the minimap, and Solicitate opts to stay up, which he goes right through the minion line to try and do something. Gets jumped on, ulted, rake, ignite, dead. This kills the monkey. Bad things happen to me. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure what he was doing here, but he's just kind of using up time, towers taking damage, but then Talon starts going back, and then what? No! I gained! No! Don't do that. Once again, that teleport could have been used for something else. So, map pressure is lost again. Now, here's a tip. If you don't know how to properly use your teleports, don't take teleport. There's no point. Honestly, if you don't know how to teleport to the correct place at the correct times and hold on to it and use it in such a way that it's not going to waste, There's no point in taking teleport. You're better off taking Nightade or Barrier or Heal or anything else. Anything else would have been better. Okay, so Min line smashes up against the turret. And it starts slowly heading back. Talon's gonna keep pushing up the wave rake. So there's absolutely no reason to be doing Gromp. So you take tons of free damage for absolutely nothing as the lane is pushing up to your turret. You could have simply got farm up there if you'd been a little bit more patient. Now, pretty sure Solicitate's on full tilt at this point, because he's half HP, half mana. Talon's full HP, full mana, 2 levels higher than him. And then like, okay, farming on her turret, fine. But now, his mana's pretty much empty. And then for some reason he decides to pick this fight here. I don't understand. So, another free dive. But that behavior indicates that Solicitate was on full tilt at that point, and the game was pretty much over for him. Anyways, tower goes bye-bye. The laning phase turned into a gigantic disaster. Now, honestly, this point we decided to start doing dragon. Now, if Celeste had teleport here, he could have came in at 1455. It would have been a 4v2 because Vayne and Nami arrived late. However, because he did not have teleport, we get slaughtered in a late 4v4. So anyways, I'm pretty sure at this point Solicitate's catonic, not really thinking about any particular thing. Although, luckily at this point, the idea of a pick comp kicks in. Oh look, a pick. The first kill he got this game, and it was because we used the comp properly. Eh. Anyways, there's not really much to see after this point. It's just farming. So, speed that up a bit. So anyways, Talon got to bottom and ended up killing. I had to go back a couple times to And then, so, Solicitate's kind of pushing top, Talon's heading bottom to get more kills. Now, could Solicitate have teleported down there? Yeah, but he probably wouldn't have got anything done. He probably would have got killed too. At this point, the game's pretty much gone down the drain. So, this is the only offensive teleport he used pretty much the entire game, and it was late. So, I don't know what to say at this point. The game is pretty much essentially over. They're only going to get stronger, and I mean, even though I don't show the entire game, we do start to catch up a little bit, but 15 minutes in it became too far gone because it's a 3v5 at this point. Both Solicitate and by extension myself are on tilt. So it's really, yeah. It's unfortunate. So our focus was top lane. His personal problems were misuse of teleport, poor trading, very fast tilt because he picked an unpracticed role in ranked, and our team problem was no coordination, but we didn't get too much of the team stuff down. So there's a pretty big lack of information. I know some other stuff happened throughout the match after this point, but it's not really worth noting because the game's essentially over at 15 minutes for us. They're about 5k ahead. So that's pretty big. And that's about it. Novasight, thanks for watching.